what's up, guys? It is Celeb back again for another video. This time around, we're here to talk about FBC Firebreak, brought to you by Remedy. And I've got a couple of people joining me today. First and foremost, we got Toaster from the Second Opinion Podcast and, of course, Cinelinks.com. What's up, Toaster?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And, of course, we have Ryan, a.k.a. Mr. Janky, here to talk as well. He's one of the writers for Cinelinks.com. What's going on, Ryan?
Oh, it's going pretty well. How you doing, Caleb?
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. I really appreciate both y'all coming on Discord and having this chat about this crazy game that we got a chance to play. So, I guess, Ryan, we're going to start with you because you do really love Remedy. So with the first impressions of this game, especially with, I think originally when me and Toaster first went into it, we didn't really know that there was like big connections to any other universe, you know, especially.
Oh, you didn't know about the lore.
Yeah, we didn't really know about the lore. So, like, you know, with you being more into, you know, like Control and these other games in the, or, you know, what was it? Alan Wake 2 that we talked about. Alan Wake 2 was a fascinating game. So, why don't you kind of tell us, you know, your roundabout kind of initial thoughts of the game?
Well, it was a pretty cool game for sure, just as, you know, top level starting point. As a big fan of Control, did you guys ever play Control?
I did. I
did not.
didn't get like extremely into it, but I did play some of Control.
Yeah, see, Control, it was one of those like perfect, maybe like, what do you call them, AA type releases, in my opinion, where it's like, it's not a game that's got, you know, it's everything is amazing about it. There's some stuff that kind of sucks a little bit here and there, but for the most part, you're just enthralled and you want to play through the whole thing. Like the way that the oldest house, you know, the setting of the game just moves around and changes as you play. And I thought that FBC Firebreak did a really cool job of emulating that, in that, you know, that kind of simple, how do you call it, like mission based world, right? Because you have like the different threat levels, and like each one is kind of like the same thing but bigger.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I feel like there's whenever I first jumped into it and kind of was like, realized that there was a connection between this and a different universe and stuff, seeing the different type of enemy types and trying to kind of get used to the style of gameplay, I wasn't really getting into it. But I feel like whenever you, me, and Toaster all jumped into a game and started kind of going over, like, you know, what our strategy was and finding what kits best fit us for our play style, I really got into it. Like, even though, you know, particularly, I still didn't really have a clue what was going on with why these people are floating around in barber chairs, and, you know, we have these different characters coming at me. But I'm guessing these are enemies or enemy types from Control. Like, were there different enemy types like this in Control?
Oh yeah, like this is basically, I mean, like if you wanted to be harsh, you could call it the Control asset flip, which I don't really think that it is in like the derogatory term. But there's definitely a sense of, when I first fired it up and started playing the game, there was a sense of like, what are we gonna do with all these Control assets? I know, let's make this. Because like the barber chair dudes, they're from the game. I want to say, the runners are like an enemy that shows up a little later on. The cops, like those security guards with the handguns, those guys are everywhere in the base game, or the main original game, I guess.
Isn't there like another level too in Control to where like there's like Post-it notes all over the place? I think there's like a level in okay, so like there's one of the levels that you have to play that me and Toaster were playing, and it was like Post-it note cleanup. So like we had to go around and make all the Post-it notes like wet and then shoot them off the ground. Toaster, when you and me first got into that game, what were you thinking? Like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, and honestly, let's not like mince words here. You and Ryan were strategizing. I was running defense.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I feel like which is what made me really like our gameplay, because like if you're in a group of people and you've got people that want to do like the fit and like fixing things and things like that, there's always going to be somebody that just wants to shoot shit. And
100%. And Toaster was that one.
I loved it. I ran around with my shotty, keeping you guys safe.
Yeah.
But like another interesting thing I read about the game today was that like the developers didn't ever want to make it feel like you were locked because of the kit that you were playing, which is something that I really like to see now as a growing thing happening in multiplayer, where you don't have to be locked into one specific thing. Like I used the fix kit, which I just walked around and hit things with a big wrench until they were fixed. But if I didn't have the tool to fix the job, I could still do it by doing that right L1 R1 bumper thing. Of course,
yeah.
under heavy fire and like sweating while you're trying to get the combination right.
Yeah. Well, what was really funny though is there was a lot of times in those instances that me and Toaster are still trying to like figure out the controls, and I'm shooting at a lot of these enemies, and then Toaster's like, "Is friendly fire on in this game?" And I was like, "I don't know. Come here, shoot me." And he shot me with a shotgun, and my life just depleted like so bad. I was like, "Yeah, it's on. It's on."
I was actually just about to ask. I was like, I don't even know personally. Is it on? So good to know.
Yeah, it definitely is. So with this game, with FBC Firebreak, it is a 3-player cooperative first-person shooter set in the Federal Bureau of Control. So these are the characters that are kind of out and about. I mean, in this game, there's like a splash kit that you can use. There's the fix-it kit, and then what's the other kit? I'm trying to think of
The
what it
jump
is.
kit.
The jump kit.
Yeah, so the jump kit. So, and I mean, with the different style of enemies, and overall, say we kind of tie in graphical presentation on this. I mean, I would probably say like I was surprised after a bit of playing it, kind of getting used to it. Like there's some times in this game that these enemies and when they're running at you, I would think with it being an online based game, some of the games that we've seen PlayStation somewhat have a problem with in this perspective. Like I think the frame rate and everything kept pretty well. The graphical presentation kept up. And I mean, and there wasn't really anything that was too much of a messy situation when I was, playing the game with you guys. I don't know about y'all's experience, but what about you, Toaster? I mean, did you have any type of frame rate issues or graphical kind of tears or anything like that?
I didn't really notice anything, and I was even playing through remote play. I wasn't even playing straight up on my TV.
Oh wow.
So I was playing over the network connection on my computer, and I didn't see any slowness. I didn't see any frame jitter. It'll be interesting to see how it handles when the floodgates are open and it's released to the general public and everybody's playing it. But our chance, our time with the levels that we got, it ran really smooth. And I mean, a testament too to the PS remote play, because like I said, I had no problems.
Yeah, I didn't even know you were playing on remote play. I mean, that's a pretty good testament to it. But what about you, Mr. Janky? Did you have any type of janky issues with the game?
The jank was fairly minimal, I have to say. I had some connection problems, but I don't feel like I could lay that at the feet of the game itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as technical issues, everything was pretty cool, pretty chill. One thing I think I really liked about the game, graphical wise, is how every enemy has like a very distinct look and they serve a distinct purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got the dudes that run in for you. You immediately see one of those guys down the hallway and you go, "Oh, I know what he's doing. He's coming at me." The security guards with the handguns, the barber guys. Like every time you see one, you're like, "I know what my plan should be to deal with these guys." And that visual integrity, I guess you could call it, really like stood out to me. It's like, here's this guy for this problem. Here's this guy for that problem.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't, there was a lot of times that I would say that I felt a little overwhelmed because that's just how the game is supposed to feel in certain moments. But it kind of, you still had that sense of hope. Like, all right, well, if if I have this whole group of these runners coming at me and I'm close enough to to one of the hill stations, I could stand inside the hill station, and at least while I'm standing in there and the water's running on me, my health is not depleting too much while I'm getting my ass whooped by these runners. So but also with the two larger enemies too, there's the one that has the body that's coming out of its back. And then there's the other one that's more of a heavy gunner that'll shoot like the grenades at you or use the machine gun. I think that they were, I think they were a good difficulty. They weren't too easy or too hard. Of course, if you do have a good weapon or a good, drop area that you can get them, just as long as you get good headshots on them, you do a lot more damage than body shots because of the armor that they're wearing. But I agree. I think that the enemy style and type it felt different, and it felt kind of fresh and new. But at the same time, it was something that we've seen before in games with horde-like games like this. And there, of course, it's kind of basic. It's just, you got a job that you got to do, and then you get in there, you do the job, you take on the enemies, and then you get in the elevator and leave. But I feel like if they can actually do true support to this, like have more different, matchmaking, styles, like maybe, solo runs that you could do, or 2 versus 2, or some other different types of matchmaking. And then, of course, bringing out new levels and new challenges. I feel like the game could have a pretty good run online, especially nowadays when we've seen so many games that have launched with multiplayer aspects and then they get shut down, not too far after launch. What do you guys think? You agree with that?
I will say, honestly. Sorry, go ahead,
Ryan. I was going to say that I think that what I'm really most looking forward to, as far as what they could really jump into to make this game really sing, are like full-on boss fights, right? Like, we've got the enemies right now. We got those big boys that break up like the tension of the different like regular enemies. But one thing that I always thought was kind of lacking in Control were the boss fights. It just felt like those were meant for a different game. And I'm thinking this might be that game where you have multiple people with each of their different like kits doing different specific things to a boss. Maybe there has to be some sort of puzzle to figure out how to beat each one. There's so many different ideas you could do for something like this. And I'm really excited. I hope they look into that further as this game, releases.
Man, that's something that I really want with this game now. Like, that is what I felt like it was lacking totally. Like, it would be great to take on like a really like a larger, more heavy damage based scaled boss. I don't know, maybe one of those body things that's also in a barber chair and he's floating around. So what about you, Tosu?
I will say the first thing that kind of screwed me up when I played the game before I got a chance to play with y'all, I thought the big boys in like the bomb squad outfits, I thought they were other players.
Did you? Hey, that would be a good element to add.
They had names. I mean, we had Danny Russo, which is, as Ryan so eloquently pointed out, 3/4 of Daniel LaRusso.
Yeah.
And they all like Mike Esposito and Jake from State. They all had names, and
Jake from State Farm.
I didn't quite understand what I was playing when I first started playing it, because there's really not an explanation. It's like there's some shit going weird. Go take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like running around. I'm like, how in the shit am I supposed to like finish this level when I've got like this like horde of other players coming at me? Like, what the shit?
Yeah, I agree. That was a little rough at times. And it was whenever me and Toaster first got into the game, I really had no concept of what I was doing, there wasn't really a big tutorial of like, so in this game, this is what you do. I didn't see did I skip it? Or
that's like part of it, though. That's what makes it, I think, such a fun game to play, is you want to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, bro.
Because you're just like, what? I have to blow up piles of sticky notes?
Yeah.
What the shit? Like these jobs and these, and then Hank, who I'm still trying to figure out. So apparently his voice actor's name is Cole Teasley. And the internet,
like John Goodman,
does not know who Cole Teasley is, apparently. So good job to
Fascinating.
Cole Teasy for being anonymous on the internet still.
Yeah, yeah.
But that'll end with this game.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I agree
Time is
with
now,
you guys
Teasley.
though. I think like what Ryan said, I think if there's some type of introduction of like a boss or something, I think that would be something really great, especially if it was like a special event to where, you got exclusive gear or exclusive weapons or whatever. I feel like too something that I felt like it was lacking while we've been playing. I don't know if maybe I just haven't done enough playtime with the game, but there was times that like I should be seeing a better explanation of the level up system. Like I mean, I understand the other stuff. Like I can find the other stuff
So
out, I guess.
that was
But
covered.
was it? Maybe
Yeah.
I
So how
guess I
it
just
works
skipped
is
through it.
you have your requisitions,
Yeah,
and then you have your research,
yeah,
and you get points as you like collect those dossiers and things like that you can
yeah.
spend on research to improve your stuff.
Okay, so I did that, and I used a lot of it to like get stuff through my requisitions and whatever. So I guess I just need to focus back in on it. But I don't know, like I just felt like it was kind of like I would have liked to see like a really expansive kind of trailer or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old man that wasn't paying attention, but some type of a little bit of a better introduction to people that haven't played Control, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So but with that being said, I feel like the game is a really fun experience. I think that the amount of time that we played together, I mean, we played all the missions, right? We played
Yeah,
all
we
6
played
of them.
for a few hours. I think
Yeah.
at least an hour, if not more.
Yeah. And I could tell as we were going along, we were getting more kind of tied in with our teamwork, and we were at the end, those last 2 levels, we just knocked those things out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's
So
Toaster? Shooting stuff.
yeah, he's over there shooting shit. So I'm gonna say, in my perspective, I feel like this is a pretty great experience for a third or a 3 to 4 person co-op game. I think it is. I think it is a really great experience, especially if you are a Control fan or a Remedy fan. I feel like if you are not a Control fan or Remedy fan, you might want to look up a little bit so you can kind of understand a little bit more of the universe. But I'm going to give it myself like a 4.5. Toaster, what about you?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. And I'm gonna go and say that you don't need to go research Control if you don't want to. Because honestly, for me, part of what made this game so fun is I had no clue what the hell was going on. I had no clue about, like what what was happening. But that's what made it fun to play because you
Yeah,
wanted to kind of be like, what is this? Like, what the shit? And I think the character design is just quirky enough to make it where people are going to enjoy themselves. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how they open up like the cosmetics market and things like that to see just, how insane you can make your characters because I mean the character models aren't like these badass heroes. They literally look like somebody threw a welder apron on and some goggles. We're like, go take care of this paranormal shit that's going on over there.
Yeah.
It's very blue class or blue collar, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan? What are your overall thoughts?
I was gonna lean more towards maybe like a 4, but I think you guys have convinced me that a 4.5 is the right call on this.
Okay.
Because like Toaster was saying, how you don't really need to be like into Control or Remedy or the whole like Alan Wake greater expanded universe to get, like, get stuff out of this game, right? But
Yeah.
like if you are, then it's even more interesting because you see like you'll turn a corner and you'll see like all these weird pillars blocking you off, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the oldest house just telling me I can't go there right now. Maybe that'll change later. You have all this background and oh, these are the Hiss, these are these guys from this last game, they're still around, that's interesting, I wonder why that is. Maybe we'll get some
Yeah.
lore drops to explain all that stuff, and so
Yeah.
you really get to like dive into it as well. So really, like, if it's something for Control fans and it's something for not Control fans, then it's kind of just got a little something for everyone, right?
Yeah, I feel that's 100% spot on. It's really the co-op multiplayer experience that anybody could jump in and play, and I don't feel like the setup was anything that was overly confusing outside of, when we got in there and just saw the first barber chair guy, and I was like, what the hell is going on? But once we got into it, man, FBC is honestly a really, really great experience. FBC Firebreak is a great 3-person co-op experience that I think that I'm going to suggest you all check out and play, especially if you got, a small squad that you like to play some of these games with. This is definitely something different and is somewhat refreshing to the genre. So we're going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Thank you guys so much for coming on and talking about Firebreak with me. And of course, thank you to Remedy for giving us this opportunity